Namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Muji ji ki jai. Thank you all so very much for joining in. Very happy to see all of you here. If this is your first time here, the way to ask questions is through the chat window. And I'll presume that the video and audio are fine. Yes, thank you. Namaste, namaste. Volume here is way up even on low. So should I bring it down a little bit? Is it better now? Ustreamer374 says, Hi Ananta from London. Hello. Vipke, namaste. Namaste. Atma says, both are perfect. Okay. So fine. Fine for me. Perfect now. Namaste. A very warm welcome once again. And let me repeat, if this is your first time here, the way to ask questions is through the chat window. Aradhana says, Hi Ananta, missed a few satsangs, but here now, happy. Yes. Very good. Ustreamer218 says, I love you all, we love you too. Freedom is already here. Freedom is already here. The self is already here. Liberation is already here. God is already here. When we stay here, there can be no problem actually. We only pretend to create the problem by giving our imagination too much belief. Whatever might be the event of life, whatever might be the occurrence that seems to be appearing, you are only the witnessing of it. You are not even the witness of it, you are only the witnessing of it. And if that is confusing for anyone, we can elaborate. You can just write it saying that it's not understood. But I feel that we've repeated this, so most of you must be understanding this. That there is no witness entity even actually. So even to say that you are the witness would not be very accurate. Because witness would imply that there is a thing which witnessing belongs to. That there is an entity to which the pure seeing reports to. But there is no such thing or entity. You are not an object. So the joke is how this pure witnessing, pure awareness started confusing itself to be this body mind organism. Namaste, namaste. Hash G 1999 says, can you explain further? Yes. So when we say, it is very commonly said actually, and it's useful also in the beginning to say that just be the witness of all that is appearing. Just be the witness of all that is appearing in the external world, which is seemingly perceived through our senses, and also of this internal world, the world of thoughts, the world of imagination, memory, emotion. This internal world is also perceived. So we say, be a witness to all this appearance, whether in the external world or in the internal world. We say it's good to start off saying that I am the witness. And once this stabilizes a little bit, then we can even ask the question, is there the witness entity there? Is there a witness thing there? Is there an object who is a witness? And you will find that there is no such object. Only the witnessing alone is here. So you were never a noun actually. You were a verb. This the mind cannot fathom. This the mind cannot fathom because it is used to relating you to be an object. And suddenly, when you say that you are not a thing, but you are just a pure witnessing, like a verb, not even to call it an energy would be accurate because it is not phenomenal at all. You're just the pure awareness itself. The eternal witnessing to all that appears and disappears. All that happens in our life, this witnessing is untouched by it. And if you were to look with an open mind just for a minute, we would see that I am this awareness itself. There is no effort needed, no spiritual journey is required, no practice also is required. Because this is the truth. The truth does not need effort to become true. Only the false needs to work hard to sustain itself. Only a false idea needs to constantly be nourished by our thoughts and our beliefs to sustain. But what you truly are is beyond all thought. So, if for some of you this is seeming like a very intellectual discussion, actually know that it is not meant to be intellectual. It is not meant to be intellectual at all. It is only meant to be a simple seeing of what I truly am without relying on any knowledge, any concepts, any words. Can we simply check on what is here? You have to ask me this now. We'll come in a day or two. Okay, say hi to everyone. Now that you're here.
What's the
In a day or two, I'll check after satsang.
why so late?
I'm in the middle of satsang.
But why so late?
Where's Louise? Is she with us? She can completely relate to this situation. Hmm.
Hey, why so
I
late?
don't know.
This is 5 days. How many days are
Can I check after satsang? Can you put on this fan? Put on this fan. Thank you.
Bye bye, Takashi.
Hmm. So, Jyoti says, hi Sita. Thankfully, she's left. And Aradhana says, Independence Day is still a week away. She's already celebrating, yes. Dia seems to have got a head start, yes. Did I miss something? Aradhana says, dropping the imaginary ghosts and goblins of fear that seem to have been arising here. Yes. Staying here at your feet now. Just let go of all the fear. We are only the untouched one. We are untouched by any phenomena. The appearance cannot harm us in any way. Only our illusions can be attacked. And it is pure grace if it is attacked. Because in that way, with that suffering, these illusions are let go of. No fear required at all. Ustreamer218 said yes, yes, yes. Atma says, I am a verb. Yes, so beautiful is this. I am a verb, really. And that was when my daughter came in. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Ustreamer374 says, your daughter is very lovely and you are very understanding. We're used to this by now, all of us. Rashmi says, so nice to see you with your kids always. Thank you. Zoe says, beautiful. Yes. This reminded me of a funny story actually. And so we were having a meeting amongst the Sangha volunteers in Bangalore, and we were talking about some things, and we were just fooling around and just chatting. And I was saying that maybe it'll be good if we don't serve food, and other distractions in the satsang space. And then this funny joke came saying that. So I said that the next Buddha was going to be formed, but we distracted him with a samosa. I don't know if all of you know what this samosa is, but it's an Indian snack. So I joked and said that the next Buddha was being born, but we distracted him with a samosa. Same way, the next Buddha was being born here, and my daughter came in with a flag. I'm just kidding. Rashmi says, finding it hard to pay attention today. Kids with their homework. Okay, I really struggle with this chat now because it jumps so much. Kids with their homework around, yes. Sindhu says, at the exact same time, my mum came in to get my attention. Mum's like my daughter, yes. Zoe says, father samosa, yes. Atma says, untouched by any phenomenon, yes. Untouched by samosas also. I don't know where these jokes are coming from. Untouched by any phenomenon. Happy for this recognition. Very good. So all can appear and disappear, but the witnessing remains untouched. Maya says, big smile came when Sita came in with the flag from behind you. Yes, I didn't even notice. Atma says, true samosa. And for the first timers, we are not usually so crazy. We are quite crazy, but we are not talking of samosas all the time. Aradhana says, love the Buddha and samosa story. Dortha said, when a Buddha is born, can anything stop that? No. We just, when we talk about the practical thing, just to emphasize some points, we have to make jokes like this. Rashmi says, hungry now. Maya says, you just said it was a joke a minute ago. Yes. This player, please lie. You streamer 969, so much love. Shanti, so much love. So does anyone have a burning question? What is the freedom that we are looking for? What is absent in this moment right now? Jyoti says, no, but I can tell you a story. Yes, of course. Louise, big hug. Okay, so we have a question. Ustreamer374 says, how about how to drop the next thought? Yes. We can look at this. Radhana says, today's satsang theme is fun and laughter. and use streamers. 374 says a reminder, yes. So very simple pointing, and although the pointing is very simple, I would say it is not a trivial instruction. Sometimes what the mind does is it sees if something is too simple, it says that it is trivial. It cannot be useful because it is so simple. That's the mind's interpretation, isn't it? But in this simple instruction lies the end of all suffering. The end of all suffering. And this is what all of us wanted, isn't it? The great sages, the Buddha himself, wanted the end of suffering, and all his sadhana, all his exploration was about how to come to the end of suffering. And all the sages came to this same conclusion. And the conclusion is that the problem or the suffering does not lie in the world or in the appearances which are appearing. The problem only lies in the belief in the interpreter, the belief in the thoughts about the world, belief in the thoughts about the appearance. This is the only cause of suffering. So first, let's be completely clear about this. We cannot suffer without belief in a thought. Therefore, drop the idea that the world is making us suffer, or our relationships are making us suffer, or our bodies are making us suffer. The world is completely innocent, our bodies are completely innocent. The only thing that makes us suffer, seemingly suffer, is our belief in our thoughts. So let's be completely clear about this first. Then the simple instruction is, let go of your next thought. We don't even say let go of all your thoughts, because that seems too intimidating sometimes, isn't it? Oh, now I must become very serious. Now I must now refuse all thoughts. So we made it even simpler. We said in the moment, just let go of your next thought. What does let go mean? Let go does not mean that don't let thoughts come. That seems like a very effortful practice, and only very accomplished yogis can achieve such a feat, if at all. So it does not mean stop thoughts from coming. It only means let the thought come unresisted, but you do not engage with it. Your attention might also go to it, because that is the nature of attention. So even if your attention goes to it, it is alright. But you will find that just even with attention, the thought does not have the potential to make you suffer. It is only when we enter the PIN number, what we joke and say this is the PIN number, which is the personal identification number. That means we give this thought our belief. We say that this is my thought. It has meaning for me. And the instant we assign it some meaning, then we are caught in the potential for suffering. Because a thought means it is something needy, it is something attacking or defending. It is something which is referring to you as a individual person who never existed actually. This person never existed actually. It is only a figment of our imagination. It is only a conjured up creation as a result of belief in thoughts itself. So to let go means to divest it from our belief, to divest it of our belief, and it's allowed to just go. So like a cloud in the sky, it is allowed to come and go. The sky is unconcerned whether the cloud is white, grey, whether it's going to rain or not. Is the sky concerned? So you are the vast space in which these clouds are appearing. You stay unconcerned with how these clouds are and let them go. So without belief in the thought, then show me how you can suffer. You will find that it is impossible to suffer. And that is why we say that the simplest way to come to the end of suffering is to let go of your next thought. In fact, it is the only way. All paths only seem to be a preparation to come to this point. All paths are only a preparation for us to come to this point of letting go of our next thought. But there is no path, no true path which can say that you continue to believe your thoughts and suffering will stop. No path can say this, because belief in the false identity equals suffering. So if you want to be free from sufferings, it's very, very simple. Just let go of your next thought. I hope it's clearer now. Okay, Jyoti has a story which we will read. Okay, before the story, there's some more input on the chat. So let's read that. CK Regal, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing this right, says, nowadays, I find it hard not to follow the addiction of thinking, activity, energy. Nowadays, I find it hard not to follow the addiction of thinking, activity, energy. Really crazy scenarios and hard not to follow them. Generally, I just notice it after a while, yes. If we refer to the past and if we worry about the future, then our testimonies will be like this. Therefore, we say that freedom is now. So now, right now, it is possible for you to let go of any thought which comes. Isn't it? You see that it is possible right now. So now you drop it. And now don't pick up anything. Now don't pick up anything. But there will be points. There will be times where you found that you already picked something up. It's very simple. There will be times, in spite of saying I will never pick up, you will find yourself in the midst of already having picked up something. So the thought could be that I want to go to Antarctica. And you picked it up. In that moment, when you realize you picked it up, in that moment you let go of it. It is that simple. And freedom is here. The only Problem with this approach is the mind will say it is too simple. You have to not believe this thought. It is the laziest person's way to enlightenment. Just let go of your next thought. Wherever you find yourself, just let go of your next thought. It is that simple. Amrit says yes. Rashmi says so much fun, yes. Jyoti says all my stories seem to come in dreams. Yes. Zoe says, Father, I would like to share something. A great resistance came up today, and a sadness and a resistance to the sadness, wanting to look for a distraction. And you were untouched by all of this, isn't it? You know this now, isn't it? No matter what came, some thoughts came, some emotions came, some heaviness came, but you were just the untouched witnessing of all of this, isn't it? So don't say this should not happen and that should not come. Between this shoulds and should nots, that is the true distraction actually. Because we are setting conditions for our freedom. We are saying freedom means some states should not come and only some states are allowed to come. It is not true. Freedom means freedom for all states to come, but you are resting unconcerned by any state. That is true freedom. Freedom does not mean that we are fearful of some states. Then that would be a very shaky freedom, isn't it? It will be freedom only as long as some states are lasting. Yes? So the power that is being given to you now, the power of your own seeing, is that any state can emerge, but you are unconcerned. There is truly no fear here about any state arising. All states are welcome. And you will see this to be true about yourself. There is no fear here about any state arising. It could be the most angry state or the most depressed state. Any state is welcome to arise. But I will only be the witnessing of it. Nothing can make me the person who is fighting with such a state. I can only imagine myself to be that. But here, the imagining has stopped. Atma says, I love it. Today's satsang, yes. Okay, so Jyoti's story starts. She says, once upon a time, I had a dream where I knew I was dreaming. So it occurred to me to prove it to myself. Yes. So I said, okay, I am dreaming, so I cannot die. And Zoe said, but no sadness here now. So she said, Jyoti had said, I am dreaming, so I cannot die. And she says, so there was a road with cars going up and down. So I decided to jump in front of a car to prove to myself that I could not die. One car came and flew by, and I didn't jump. Then another car came, and this time I jumped in front of it. It was quite joyous because all of a sudden I was back on the side of the road. Not dead, of course, and still wide awake within the dream. Then I saw a fire across the street, and it was suggested within me that I jump into the fire. I said yes and went toward the fire. I then came into the waking state. But maybe this fire was a visual symbol for this fire of satsang. Very good. Jyoti says, something you said just reminded me of this. Thank you for suggesting I jump in this fire. Very good. Yes, often there is lucid dreaming here also. And usually what happens is to get out of those dreams, if there is a sense that it's not being enjoyed, I usually find a high place and jump. And in the dream, before the landing happens, the waking state is already here. So I'm not suggesting this to anyone. Not suggesting this to anyone at all. Because you will put two and two together somewhere and say Ananta said this life is also a dream, so I'm not enjoying this dream, so let me find a high place and jump. So he would not want you to do that, although ultimately nothing will be touched even in that experience. But we are enjoying each other too much in this way to want to end any of this Leela or play. Atma says, Father, today, now is a special moment. Now I know, not only thinking about it, but I know I am untouched by anybody, also untouched by any feelings, by anything. I know it, Father. Thank you. Very beautiful. That is the power of satsang. That is the power of the Avaduta Gita, which you read earlier in the day. Just one line from such a beautiful scripture. Just one line of the Sadguru's words, openly heard, can demolish the concept of personhood. And you will find that no intellectual understanding compares with the true seeing of what you are. Is very good. Ustreamer374 says thank you very much, very welcome. CK Regal says thank you, very welcome. Jyoti says, haha, that's funny. I did that once, but just kept falling for what seemed like a long time. But of course, I woke up eventually. Zoe says, yes, yes, too much peace, too much joy doing this. Whatever can end is not real anyway, isn't it? Peace, joy, love are in service to my true self. They are in service to me. But once we pick up the idea of being a person and decide to chase this happiness, this same happiness, this very joy, this peace which is here now, this one seems so elusive, isn't it? Wearing a person's clothes, all of this runs from us. In the naked reality of our true self, all of this is in service to us. Love is in service to me. I am not in service to love. Atma says, yes, Father, those Sadguru's words. Yes. What a magic, exactly. Kapil says, can you please say something about witnessing itself? Witness what? Is it a doing or just witnessing? The internet is slow, might now reply to your question in time, might not reply to your question in time, if any. This question is, can you please say something about the witnessing itself? That's the trouble, isn't it? Because this one you cannot say anything about. At best, you can point to it. All words spoken about it are not precise. They are not true, they are at best pointing to it. So to say awareness or to say a pure seeing or a pure witnessing are the words which come close in the form of a pointing. But to find it for yourself rather than to explain it in words is the real thing. So we can ask a very simple question asking, are you aware now? I want to give you a taste of your own true self rather than keep explaining the taste to you. I can keep talking about a great chocolate, a great Belgian chocolate which I had. I can either keep describing that it was like this, it tasted like this was the wrapping, this is what it looks like. Or I can say, here, why don't you also have it? It's available right here. So we would prefer to try it, isn't it? What is the way to try it? Just a simple question. Am I aware now? And you will see that it is awareness itself which knows about awareness. It is awareness knowing awareness. Awareness being aware of awareness. I know to the mind it will seem slippery initially. But stay with this question. And if you want, I can give you a simpler version. If the question was too slippery, let me know and I can attempt to give you a simpler version, a less abstract version. But if this question takes a hold in your heart, am I aware now? Then you will see that the one who is aware now is not a person, is not an idea, is not an imagined entity. It is awareness itself which is aware. It is not a body which is aware. It is not our senses which are aware. Am I aware now? What knows this? What knows this? Dortha says, I also jumped off a huge cliff in a lucid dream. What happened then is that I fly like a eagle. Yes. It was very joyful. Yes. And the rest of you should not get any expectations like, why does everyone else seem to have lucid dreams but not me? Does that mean I have not understood something? Does that mean that I am not as accomplished? It has nothing to do with your true nature. These are all just games in the Leela, all just games of Maya. It is the same consciousness which is projecting itself in this so-called waking state, it is the same consciousness in the dream state. It is all the projection of the same being itself. For any world to exist, first you must exist as being. And in the light of your own being, the world comes into play. Atma is enjoying the chocolate. Today is a fun satsang. Eh? So I don't want any of you to go to Amazon.com now and buy books on lucid dreaming. First be completely clear about who you are, and then let everything unfold as it is meant to. Jyoti says, I am so suggestible. I am so suggestible. It seems like I ate some chocolate after you said that. Yeah, I wouldn't mind some Belgian chocolate right now. Actually. It's very good, very good. We can have a satsang like this, full of so much joy and laughter. Because sometimes we make it too serious, isn't it? We make it too serious. I must get to freedom. This I is fake. The I which says I must get to freedom is fake. Ustreamer 374 says, please pass the chocolate thought around. It's already infecting all of you, the chocolate thought. Now it has already become a desire. Because you believe the thought of Belgian chocolate, you must have it, it has already become a desire. Yeah. Jayami says, Father, lots being burped up today, especially physically. The body is giving some trouble. I give it all to you. Very welcome to give all of this to me. Prema says, I can send you some very good Swiss chocolate. Oh, so sweet. No, I'm just joking. Don't worry. You streamer 540 says, this satsang is creating uncontrollable smiling in me. Same. Jyoti says, there is chocolate flavored milk here in Ireland called Muju. Yes. And in Southeast Asia, there are also these stores, these chocolate stores. Maybe they're Japanese chocolate stores called Muji, M-U-J-I. Padam Shri Mananda. Sorry, I'm having difficulty pronouncing your name. Padma Shri Mananda says, Hi Ananta, I have a question please. Yes. I always get a very clear message before any accidents or illness I am going to have. Is this because consciousness is giving me the opportunity to protect the body? So let's look at what is happening. There is a pure awareness which is here in all states, including the deep sleep state. Pure awareness is here. Pure seeing is here. Then, for some unexplained reason, although you can put lots of theories to it, for some unexplained reason, the sense of beingness, the sense I am, takes birth in this pure awareness. So we say that consciousness is now born. And in the light of this consciousness comes the so-called waking state or the dream states. But this consciousness is the one doer and the one experiencer. Like in India we say, Tvam Karta, Tvam Bhokta, which means you are the doer and you are the experiencer. When we are addressing the God or the Guru, you can say Tvam Karta, Tvam Bhokta, which means consciousness is the one doer and one experiencer. And this consciousness can play in a myriad of ways. Every play, every expression of this consciousness is unique. So in all the 6.5 billion or 7 billion so-called human beings in the world, everyone is a unique expression. And their bodies are different, the way their mind works is different. Everything is a unique expression. Even every leaf is unique compared to another leaf. So it seems to be a play of unique expressions. But the one doer is running all of this. He's making all the hearts beat, all the planets move, all the flow of gravity, electricity, all these primal forces are running. Some beings, for some again unexplained reason, or through some sadhana, yogic siddhis, whatever, get some access to what seems like the future. They get access to this kind of intuitive energy or the ability to foretell things. But the fact of the matter is that it is not helpful in our discovery of who we are to focus too much on these. Because usually what has happened is that we get attached to these kind of siddhis or these kind of experiences. And again we perpetuate the belief in the personhood which now seems to carry these kind of energetic strengths as well. So first come to the point of true self-discovery. Find out that you are the witnessing of all of this and completely untouched by any of these events. Be it a future illness, be it a future accident, you are in reality completely untouched by all of this. And then you will also see that there is no decision maker person there anyway. The person was always a figment of our imagination. So consciousness itself is doing, consciousness itself is playing in this way of foretelling the future, and consciousness itself is pretending to be a decision maker, pretending to make a change in the decision or keep the decision the same. So you keep the imagined person out of this equation and moment to moment let life unfold in exactly the way it is meant to. It is already this way actually. Already it is happening only in this way because the person is just conjured up. It is only a figment of our imagination. So don't decide that now I must treat my intuition in this way, this is what I must do, because again it is perpetuating the I idea. This I you are not. So just what you do is let go of all thoughts. Let go of all thoughts and let life unfold moment to moment. Let God or Guru, if you believe in Guru, guide your every step, guide your every action. Consciousness itself is doing all of this. I hope we explained your question. It's good to see you in satsang. Hey, welcome here. Atma says, yes, Father. Zoe says, so happy, Father. I know I am home. Very good. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, my child. That I am the home itself. And you jumped all the way up. So let me see where it was. And any little bits of mind nonsense are floating away effortlessly. Very good. Louis says, sorry, you streamer, I ate it all. Chiki. Amaya says, can witnessing also be called experiencing? Aware of perceptions of all senses equals witnessing. Aware of everything, perception of the senses as well as the internal witnessing, which is beyond our senses, isn't it? We don't use our senses to perceive a thought. We don't use our senses to perceive a memory. We don't use our senses to perceive our emotion. But the perceiving is the same, or the witnessing or the experiencing is the same. Yes. The words can be used interchangeably. In fact, none of the words fully capture the essence of what we are. But we have to keep using these words, isn't it? So, yes, experiencing also can be used. Atma says, so clearly and beautifully explained, Father. Thank you. Padma Shri Mananda says, thanks, witnessed my accident and broke my ankle and had my awakenings. All is grace. All which appears to be suffering, in the root of the suffering, as a fruit of the suffering, actually, you will find the realization of the self. Therefore, we must not resist any suffering which is coming. Because suffering is grace which slaps us out of our misidentification of personhood and brings us to our realization of our own self. It's the mechanics with which consciousness comes back to realization that it is consciousness itself. Ian says, much love, Ananta, much love. Ian. Maya says, see, experiencing happens within witnessing. Mostly asleep here, body is. Yes. Please get your rest, beloved one. Absolutely. The experiencing through our senses is also witnessed, isn't it? There's a witnessing that this experiencing is happening. That's what she's saying. It's very true. Thank you. The thank yous are coming. That means it is time to leave. Thank you all so very much for joining us in satsang today. Muji ji ki jai. Jaini says, I am untouched by these strong physical energies. They cannot affect this. Yes, very good. Just say that they are Ananta's problems now. Hand them over to me. Thank you. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you so much, everyone. My son is behind me. He says, "What's up?" Yeah, Children's Day today in satsang. Thank you.